This presentation is not about the US military exclusively. It's about Israel's genocidal retaliation against occupied Gaza, and I have found that difficult to quantify. I am going to present numbers accounting for waste and carbon emissions this tragedy has produced and will produce, and those numbers are intended to demonstrate the heinous impact that this conflict will have and is having on the living terrain of Gaza. The UN has 3 levels of obligation under which countries account for their fossil fuel emissions. In this accounting, countries designate whether these emissions come from mobile sources like ground, sea, or air vehicles, or stationary sources like building power consumption. However, there is no obligation to distinguish military emissions from civil ones. But this disguises the impact militarization specifically has on the environment. There is no doubt that the massive fleets of air, sea, and land vehicles the military employs have deeply terrible impacts on the state of this planet. But what is occluded by this milquetoast accounting method is the extent to which supply chains, manufacturing of materiel, munitions testing, and the construction and maintenance of outposts and battlefield structures such as trenches, field hospitals, fuel depots, and concrete fortifications contribute to global warming and climate catastrophe. Military, in its most abstract sense, is a war on the planet simply by virtue of what militarization requires for sustenance. So long as there are militaries asserting their power, protecting their nationalist interests, and hoarding power through arms, then we, as unarmed, non-combatant civilians, are at risk. Impairment is a key conceptual component in the social model of disability, the social and political conditions that turn an impairment into something that hinders the ability to lead a dignified life. Since October 7th, over 30,000 people have been killed in Gaza, a number which has grown a lot since I gave this presentation the first time, 58% of those being women and children. There's going to be disaster here. That's climate change. This country is going to experience emergency. This country is going to experience instability and crisis. We cannot let militaries decide the terms of crisis resolution, be it climatological, ideological, or whatever else.